Hello and welcome back to another episode of OS Talk. This episode is going to be a little different, as today we are interviewing the host, ztrot. Hey ztrot.
Yo, what's up?
Now, since the interviewee can't be the host, I'll be the host today. I'm Charles445 and I'm accompanied by Lollyflan, our co-host. Hi Lollyflan.
Hey there.
Alright, so now that we have the introductions out of the way, it is time to begin. So, to start off with ztrot, how does it feel to be the one being interviewed?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, actually. I've actually been interviewed in two other ones, and one I sounded like I had a stick up my butt, and the other one was a lot more relaxed. The first time I felt that I needed to make some kind of weird, proper, formal... I have no idea what was going through my mind with that one, but I was like, I was talking like this, and I was like, I really worry about the beatmap community, and I try to do all this fancy stuff. And really, it ended up being bad, in my opinion.
So it ended up being like my interview?
Yeah, it was like Moonshade. Moonshade was the one that did the interview.
Oh boy, I think I remember seeing that a couple of years. Was that like 2 years ago?
It was so bad. It was so bad. I got so many, I got wrapped on it so hard. Like, there was a whole bunch of people that were just like, ha ha, that's terrible. And I'm like, I know. It was pretty bad.
Lollyflan, are you familiar with the interview?
The what?
The the old ztrot interview that happened a couple of years ago. That was the one that ztrot was talking about.
Couple of years ago? How much years ago is that exactly?
It was the one Moonshade did. I think it was about 2 or 3 years back.
No, probably wasn't involved or didn't even care. I don't know. If I don't remember it, then, you know.
I'm pretty sure...
It wasn't very spread, to be quite honest.
I'm pretty sure you weren't the only one who didn't care.
Ouch.
Well, no, you said it was bad yourself, so...
Oh, yeah,
I
know.
We can make fun of it and start anew today.
Yep.
Alright. Anyway, so actually, to talk about that, I've always wanted to know, how did the OS Academy start? It just kind of showed up one day.
Well... Actually, to put a little bit of insight towards that, I had actually thought about bringing out some kind of video series for a long time, and it had failed numerous times. I mean, there was probably like 5 or 6 threads in places we can't talk about that were trying to, you know, talk about getting something like that started, and a couple times it sort of kind of picked up steam, and then it kind of just fell off because nobody really wanted to do it. I didn't really know enough about video editing. I didn't want to mess with video editing at the time. I was too interested in making beat maps and doing all that fun beat map approval team stuff. And ultimately, when it finally did come, I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. I've got nothing better to lose. I've got plenty of free time. My mapping had slowed down to almost a crawl, so I just kind of went forward with it, and I got the first episode out, and people liked the feedback, so it just kind of kept going.
Alright, so you got fucking free time. Now you're fucking better in Photoshop than me now. Wow.
Well, free time, it's like idle hands, you know. When you're left to your devices and you've literally got nothing else to do. I mean, I got let go at the factory I was working at, so I literally had a buttload of free time there and transition in between jobs. And I just sat around and messed with stuff. I just kept messing with it. I had nothing better to do, and I didn't have any MMOs sucking away all my free time, so I just kind of kept moving forward with it.
Give me some free time.
Yeah, I know.
Not everybody is blessed with the privilege of having free time.
Especially me.
Well, now I feel bad.
No. You're putting it to good use. Anyway. So I guess that's how the Academy started, a combination of free time and looking at all of the previous, I guess the word would be failures.
Oh,
Things
yeah.
never really reached the light of day.
Loads of failures.
Yeah, I was looking at all the threads. He was moving it there, moving it here.
I mean,
yeah,
what ends up happening is a couple of tutorials, it's like unregistered hypercam 2.
Oh, man.
Instead of production values. Alright. Now, you started with OS Academy on the channel, and you're actually still using that one, but suddenly OS Talk showed up. When did that come to light?
Well, if you remember back I really wanted to do something like a talk show. I had tried before with live stream. We had the Oath Show, is what we called it. And it kind of worked for maybe about a month. And basically we just get on and we play multiplayer sessions and we talk about stuff in the game. But it just really didn't pull a following. And then once I figured that I had a viewer base. I'm not going to necessarily call it a fan base, but I had a viewer base that was interested in watching helpful videos about the game. I figured, well, what if they were interested in finding out how the community acts, how people get involved, how people have done stuff over the years? And I figured, hey, we've got over 5,000 people watching this stuff. Why not see where this goes? And that's kind of how Talk started. It was something I wanted to do at one point in time. I just didn't really have enough of a voice to get it out there. And I think now that it's gotten a little bit further on, there's more that I can reach and people are interested in it. And that's pretty cool, in my opinion. I think it's really great.
Wow, so you started off with... Wow, you already actually have 5,000 subscribers, I guess, now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I guess the talk's purpose, according to you, is to basically kind of an under-the-scenes, a more personal approach to the people instead of just their forum posts and their avatar.
Yeah. I mean, the best way of understanding somebody is get to sit down and talk with them a little bit, in my opinion. A lot of the times, a lot of people have really good outlooks and views, and people just look at forum posts. And when you look at posts and it's text, you can kind of put your own emphasis on how that would sound in your head. You know, say for example, somebody was to mod my map. Lollyflan goes in and mods one of my Mania maps, and he's like, I really think this could use some improvement. Your notes are really bad. You have way too many doubles when you should be having like staircase thingies or whatever. And
I'm pretty sure never mod a Mania map.
I'm pretty sure Lollyflan, you're a 4-key player, right?
I'm an all-key player.
Oh, okay. That's your 4-key.
Okay, but
not anymore, bitch.
For the intentional,
like 4-key staircases just don't happen that much.
Okay, but for the intentional purposes of the discussion I was saying, though, is I could turn around and read that as, your map is crap, I hate it, your notes are bad, you got no staircases, you know what I mean?
You open up a page and you see 3 pages worth of text from one guy and you're like, oh boy, I really like this guy. But truly they're actually trying to help you.
Exactly, and you can't really, like, when you read that in text, you could put your own spin on what you feel that their emotion is at that point in time. That's a little harder to do when you're talking with somebody, you know? And some people that have had controversial changes, or, like, they've done stuff to rule sets that people aren't too happy about, I'd love to be able to get them on here and talk about that kind of stuff, because I guarantee there's always another side, a decent side, to every story. There's not nearly as much negativity in our community as people would like to believe. I think it's just kind of the mind playing tricks on us.
I disagree and think you're stupid. Anyway, alright, so to continue on the discussion of Ostalk, I've noticed that the Ostalk, and I think I'm not the only one, has basically taken precedence over a lot of the OS Academy. The videos seem to be slowing down in that department.
Well,
do you plan on continuing those more frequently or starting something else entirely?
Well, I do have plans for a few more episodes of the OS Academy. There's not really much more I could cover on it. I think it was kind of brought up when we talked with Peppy that, like, there's not much more to do in that. What I'm thinking about trying to do next is trying to do more in-depth videos where there'll probably be streams, to be quite honest, where I go in and I'm working on a map and people can live chat with me and I can understand what they're wanting to see done and I could tell them how to do it to the best of my knowledge. Because in terms of set tutorials, I mean, we've covered pretty much all the bases. There are a few things that still need to be touched. There's also, like, rules. I also feel that I could clarify on certain rules that are kind of ambiguous or a little bit hard to understand. And I can clarify on those. Like, the next episode I do have in the works is something to do along the lines of guest difficulties. A little bit of spoilers there. And how, when you've reached a certain threshold, you can no longer claim that as your map. And that's something that's been a very hot topic in the forums about what's right with that and what's wrong. And I'm going to try to give the newer players, because that's what the Academy is all about, is teaching the newer players, the people that are coming to the game, wanting to learn about the game. Hopefully, we could clear it up and put it into a video format that they could watch, and hopefully that'll stop some of the fighting later on down the line.
All right. So you would say that other than just the generic tutorials, you were also thinking of doing live recordings of demonstrations, is what you're suggesting. Interesting. So a bunch of recordings of somebody mapping something, or potentially someone playing something,
or
demonstrating
storyboarding, or stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's
exciting.
All kinds of great stuff. I do plan to do a few more silly, humorous things with the Academy channel as well, but those are going to be kind of few and far between.
Lollyflan, do you enjoy the comedic aspects?
The what?
The comedic aspects, the funny stuff.
Hell, I'm all about that.
All right. So I think in this interview we're gonna see some of that from Lollyflan.
Well, I'm like, you're gonna do another one? I'm totally in.
Yo, okay.
Yep.
Anyway, so you were hinting at more tutorials, namely the guest diffs, spoiler, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other plans for interviews? I mean, right now we're doing you, but surely there's others in the future?
Oh, we have tons queued up, actually. It's just, what I want to make sure is that we're pulling people that the community, and I don't mean to sound rude with this, but I want to make sure that we're pulling people in the community that they want to see. Hands out to the community right now. If you have somebody you're wanting to see interviewed, I will try to my best ability to get those people, and we'd be able to talk with them. But you do have to understand that these people have their day-to-day lives, and sometimes it's hard to get a hold of somebody. I will throw one more spoiler out there for you guys. We do have something in the lines of talking with Blue Dragon soon. And I know that some people are going, oh, yay, that's going to be great. And some people are going, oh, Blue Dragon, I don't know. But
I think I know how that's going to go.
Perspectives.
But trust me, basically what this is to do is, to pull light to stuff. Some good questions will be able to be answered. And you guys will get a chance to ask him questions that you guys think of, too.
Yeah, another advantage of being in the TeamSpeak voice server during these is that you actually get to ask the questions for the show, so it's always fun to see people stopping in here to do so. We have quite a few waiting in the waiting room already right now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so about the Blue Dragon, and for you ztrot and Blue Dragon, I assume there would be a lot of talking about how you two have collaborated on some of the most famous and infamous things simultaneously.
Yeah, we'll probably touch base on that quite a bit, I do believe.
Alright. Okay. So, I guess that pretty much covers the Academy and OS Talk discussions in the channel itself, unless Lollyflan has anything to add to that.
I wish I did, but I have nothing on my mind.
Alright. Except make more funny vids. Okay.
Oh, it's yeah, are you gonna make more funny vids?
Yes, there's definitely, like I said, definitely going to try to incorporate a little bit more humor, because every once in a while everybody's got to sit back and remember that it's a game and we got to be able to laugh at ourselves.
This is what I keep saying. This is a game. Everyone's fucking serious all the time. Have some fun.
It's a game where you click on circles and sometimes you hold on to those circles.
It's serious business, everybody.
Serious business. Use your keyboards. Anyway. So let's actually, now that we're talking about the game, let's move on to it as far as the questions are concerned. When did you join OS and where did you find out about it?
Okay, so this one has been up to debate for quite a bit of time, because as you can see, February of 2008 is when I joined, but I wasn't actually active till about February of 2009 online posting in the forums, and there's very good reason for that. When I initially downloaded the game, I played it quite a bit. The online chat was kind of new, and I wasn't so good with the speakings of the typing stuff. I was kind of bad with typing. I always have been. And if you look back to my first post, I look like I'm, basically your average kid gamer. Using leet speak and stuff like that. Nothing's actually spelled properly. Yeah, seriously. And I was kind of self-conscious about that, and so I didn't really talk that much. I think maybe 2 or 3 times before a year. And then I started really getting interested in it. I didn't even know you could create maps for the longest time. Did not know. Did not care. All I did was log into multi and play with my friends. And
that's how it always starts at.
Yep.
Oh.
And
interesting.
So what ended up happening is I eventually found out about the editor, and I think the first post I ever made was asking somebody if they'd map "Welcome to the Club" by Manian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh God, that song.
That has to have been mapped like 3 times more by now.
Yeah, by now, but back then nobody did it, and I tried to, and it was terrible. And I was really heavy into anime back then at the time too, so I think initially, once I did start getting involved in the community, I tried to map a Himawari song. I mean, it's technically rankable, but it was pretty bad. I had a lot of people of the staff help me out, and then I wouldn't take my nose out of the editor after that point, and, you know, it just kind of kept moving forward.
So, I guess if you looked at everybody's first posts, you would see something that's either oversaturated with smileys or full of blind rage at a map they just played.
Yeah.
Everybody should look at their first posts right now.
I don't want to go look at my first post because I know what it is.
Or we could not. Or we could try to avoid that at all times in the future.
You know, reverse psychology. I'm telling you to not do it. Now you're gonna do it.
So, you said that you had tried a bunch of the anime and potentially the club music. What basically inspired you to actually start taking mapping seriously?
Mogsworth.
Oh, really?
He destroyed my Magic of Love song.
Ouch.
It was like a 4-page long post. It was ridiculous.
4. That beats my record. I'm only like 3 long at one point. Damn it.
And, I mean, it was all this stuff, and, like, I wanted to give up, and then, like, Jarby basically told me, don't let that guy get you down, dude. This is pretty decent. He's just being a douche. He wasn't being a douche. He was trying to help me, you know? And I kind of cut through it. I ended up cutting the Insane because it was bad, and I fixed up the other difficulties, and it got ranked, and everybody was like, oh, wow, this is really good. And people started liking it, and DJ Pop kind of came to me, and he's like, dude, you map good. I want to collab with you. And I'm like, whoa, wait, what? DJ Pop wants to collab? Dude, this dude's got maps everywhere. And he's like, yeah, it's really good. And I was like, holy crap.
Like, it's time for you to be a star.
It blew my mind that he wanted to collab with me. So I did it, and it really got received well. And then, like, they started just kind of popping out one after another.
Which map was that? The very first one.
My very first one was
with the collab of DJ
was
Pop.
Magic of Love by Ichigo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was from Mabarajo. It was an anime opening. Yeah, I know. But yeah, actually, it kind of started from there.
I do want to go on a personal note. That's actually how my first map went. Was the Insane was deleted because I'm like, this is not a good diff. And then the map was ranked like a couple weeks later, and I'm like, oh, that was the problem. It's funny how that works. The Insanes always tend to be like overmapped.
Yeah, mine was it was bad. I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat that crap. It was bad. I tried to basically, like, I think all the other maps were kind of like shaped okay and had decent spacing, and then the Insane was like, I'm gonna go all squares everywhere and triples, and it's gonna be great because, you know, that's what I thought in my head, and then, like, in practice it was terrible.
Well, I mean, that's where a masterpiece ended up going. Anyway, to continue. So you spent a lot of time doing mapping, and I guess you could say more time modding, but I think you did more mapping. Have you always had that motivation to just keep doing stuff?
Well, usually the way I am is when I get stuck on something and I enjoy it and I'm good at it, I will beat it like a dead horse.
Ouch.
Like,
nice phone, bro.
Yeah.
Please
sorry
continue.
About that. Anyways, God, it won't stop.
Answer the phone.
Don't answer the phone.
I declined it twice and it just keeps ringing.
Anyway, continue.
All right. Anyways, where were we? I'm sorry about that phone call.
We were asking, would you say your motivation has stayed consistent, or have you always been?
Well, it's definitely stayed consistent. It's just the focus of it's definitely changed. Like, I've always been really good at doing a lot of stuff and keeping a pretty steady flow of content, whether it be beat mapping, modding, or media now with the OS Talk and the OS Academy and stuff like that. I'd like to get back to mapping, and of course, my biggest problem with it is it's just so time consuming now. Back then I used to have all kinds of super free time, and I've kind of filled up my free time voids with stuff pertaining to OS to make it a better game, let alone just to expand my mapping library further, you know?
So, I think there's actually a pretty clear solution to that, is just do more live mapping.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would definitely fuse the two. It would definitely make it to where I could teach new people different patterns and stuff. And I mean, I'm also learning all the time, too. I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm like some kind of know-it-all super guru.
You are pro, man.
Gotta clean the rust off of your
Teach
mapping.
me how to map.
Yeah, like, I'm still learning myself. I mean, my style was pretty outdated, and I did some changes to it that were received pretty decently, but I still think there's quite a few things that I can do, and that's the beautiful thing about mapping.
Would you say you're in 2009, 2010, 2011, farther?
I'm saying with my newer stuff, I'm starting to touch boundaries of 2013, maybe early 2014. But just barely touching the boundaries. Like, I'm starting to use stuff that I would personally never use, and I'm trying to understand how other people use it and feel that it makes a decent map. Like, for example, Charles, and you should be able to verify this. Have you ever seen me use anything along the lines of a 1/4 slider jump?
Only if you're dropping off of the slider at a very, very short distance.
Yeah, and see, I normally wouldn't even do that to begin with, though, because I don't like the way that looks, but I'm testing it. I'm testing new stuff. I'm trying new patterns. I'm trying new objects.
So you're trying to figure out the whole slider leniency thing, is what it sounds like.
I'm never going to hit the magic that is ztrot spacing again. There's no way. I created one good thing, and that's debatable. Some people call it good, some people call it bad, but...
Well, are you talking about, like, Airman, or...?
Oh, no. See, back in 2008, the concept that circles could be different spaces varying from each other in a coned pattern was completely mind-blowing. Nobody thought that was possible, and I started doing it in all my maps. I kind of used it as a running gag for a long time. And people really liked it, and it's still slightly seen even today with the newer stuff I put out, but not nearly as much as it was before.
I think at this point people figured out that, hey, if the rhythm's consistent, the spacing goes out the window.
Yeah, it could be okay as long as the rhythm is consistent. Spacing becomes an issue when, like, you start getting like 1/3s and you just had it spaced the same way you did with the 1/4, and you're like, oopsie.
So, we've talked about your mapping and your motivation to do so. I mean, I'm not sure if Lollyflan, are you a fan of ztrot's maps?
Actually, I'd be a fan of ztrot himself, but not maps.
Oh, okay.
Ouch. My feels, bro.
Well, I don't play that much, so
which is ztrot? Which would you prefer? Somebody who likes your maps or somebody who likes you?
I don't know. That's a good question, actually.
So yeah, I wouldn't take that as an insult, because that's actually potentially a good or even better thing.
Like, what if someone liked my maps but hated my guts? How would that work?
That's impossible. He would hate your maps and your guts.
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the whole Phil Fish thing going on, but anyway. So, I know that you have a lot of fans, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. And I'm pretty sure you've been asked to map a lot of different things. And there's two particular genres that seem to be popping up more and more in your requests.
Ponies.
First, I want to start with, not that one. First, I'm going to start with Nightcore. Have people been asking you to map more, and if so, do you plan on doing so?
Well, to answer that question with a pretty realistic outlook, let's go ahead and look at my inbox. Okay. Alright, so I have a PM titled Please. I click on it. please, can you make the map for Fuck You Betta Nightcore Mix? There's a link for the exact song I desire. Please do make it for me, bro. I will love you forever. Thanks in advance.
Well, that's actually pretty interesting that you'd have like an inbox of potential ideas.
For all intents and purposes, I'm not going to say the person's name.
No, of course not. That's always good to keep private. But that's really interesting that you constantly do still have requests.
Mm-hmm. I still get requests on the regular. And that one was just 46 hours ago.
Would you say that you take these up occasionally? These requests?
To be quite honest, most of the maps that I've done in the past year or so have been nothing but requests.
Wow.
I haven't actually mapped anything for myself. I enjoy the pony music, but I wouldn't actually pull it out unless someone asks me to map it.
Let's touch on that now. People are starting to blur the identification of you as a mapper with ponies and Nightcore now. Nobody knows which one to pick. How's the pony scene going?
Well, see, the ponies are the ones that are requested the most, and I like to appease to what people ask me to do. I've always kind of been like that, even back when I was mapping anime and stuff. We tried the Otaku Beat Map team, and we basically asked the community, like,
the OBT,
what do you guys...
that was a thing.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Oh.
We asked the community what kind of music they wanted to see, and like some of it got put out, some of it never made it to the light of day, some of it was in forever pending till I deleted it.
I think you mapped like 2 things, and one of them had really bad timing.
We mapped 3 things. 2 of them got ranked, and the third one had really bad timing and never got ranked.
Okay, all right, yeah, that was
short-lived.
a thing. Short-lived, but I mean, I guess it did work.
Everybody that was in it enjoyed doing what we did, though. I mean, Alones had really bad timing too. Yeah, never mind. 3 things. Alones got them ranked, but there was a lot of work that was put into that. Got a custom skin. Everybody had fun making the difficulties. We had a Mafia Master, Star Rod Kirby. I do believe even Animask got difficulty up in there. You know, and
wow.
DJ Pop had a normal. Like, see, that was back when there was no rule as to who can produce what. And initially, what we wanted to do is we actually wanted to create our own user that was just called the OBT, and then upload the maps through that and have it like that. That way we could all collaborate on it and it just be under that. But of course that was shot down.
Due to the obvious issues with multi-counting.
Yes. Which was understandable,
right.
So we just did to the best of what we could.
Interesting. So a couple of years have passed and we're in 2014, and I know you've been trying to adapt to the changes, but I do want to ask, do you think these big changes have been particularly good over the years?
Well, ultimately, I can't really complain too much about all the changes that have been done, even though back in the day I was probably one of the strongest activists for I don't like change. But as I've gotten older and seen the community as a whole, I noticed that most of the changes that are suggested or implemented are usually for the better. And it's not really that big of a deal. And I just want to tell this to anybody who might be worried about new changes that are happening and stuff. Don't freak out about them. Let them happen. And if they really weren't meant to be, they'll be reverted. Nobody here is heartless and just going to hit this big giant button that destroys the game and go, I'm not pressing it back to fix it. No, I mean, if something was really that bad, it would be fixed.
I have to explain to everybody when I push the big button. Because otherwise I'm going to get a lot of shit for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I think Lolliflan, did you fall asleep?
He's alright.
Good morning.
It's just late for me, and I'm trying to be here, but still.
Well, feel free to ask a question, buddy.
It's like my mind is blank.
God.
I want to ask, but what the hell am I supposed to ask?
Well, or I could just continue.
It's fine, Charles.
Let's go. All right. So, I think a big trend, and I think Lolliflan's seen this before too, is that maps are getting much harder to play because just overall the difficulty of them is increasing.
Actually, I'm kind of glad I don't play anymore because maps are more for difficulty these days.
So would you say it's hard to adapt to the changes of things being much more difficult to trot?
Well, ultimately, I'd like to sit there and tell you wrong and say, no, I could do it just fine, but, I screwed my wrist up ages ago, so I've been at a constant drop since then. I mean, I haven't really been able to hold score or, go up any further. Maps are definitely harder, but it doesn't seem like they're harder to it doesn't seem like they're harder to get accuracy on at all. I have no problem with my accuracy. It always stays at like 97, close to 98, maybe 99 on certain maps. The thing that feels really hard for me is, and this is something I like to address as mapping as a whole, is when you feel like you're getting a little bit cheated on some of the patterns. And I know it's not technically being cheated because there's people that can skillfully do it and hit it. It's just like if you get one miss an entire map that's got 2,000 combo, you feel kind of cheated that it was that one little slider that was like, ha, nope.
So I guess the consistency of difficulty is pretty important. Like you don't want to, in map design, mess somebody up for no reason, just at a single point. All right. So it sounds like the basic design of the patterns and perhaps the density is what's getting to you instead of basically the rhythm of them and potentially the overall difficulty.
Yeah, the rhythm and the overall difficulty is not really that big of a problem. What the problem is you'll have these people that, okay, say for example, 1/4 of the song is all 1/2, and then the exact same replica of the song pops up, like, because, songs are they repeat. Like, they have
suddenly triples are introduced.
Well, maybe triples or like slowdowns or crazy super jumps that were the exact. I'm not asking for copy paste. I'm just asking for consistency and spacing. If you want to do something different with that same section, that's great. But just remember that the section before it that sounded exactly like it, there should be some kind of consistency between that.
This sounds like exactly what you told me when I mapped dragons.
Yeah. And there wasn't, because there was parts that sounded the same that were completely different, and it's like, whoa, there goes my brain. But that's something I'll have to learn to overcome as a player too. I mean, it's just ideal of mine. It's not something I'm saying needs to be enforced on anybody. It's just that's what I look for when playing.
All right. So you produced to mapping and you've played quite a bit and you've made videos, but I do believe you made a couple of skins?
Yeah, me and my buddy Carl, or known as on the forums Quasara, we have made a couple skins of the pony nature.
Oh, is that the one with the approach circles with like the giant stars on it?
There's one with the giant stars, there's one with the lasso rope, and then the other one is just normal, but the circles are rainbowed.
I have a question. How are you supposed to tell when the approach circle reaches the object if they've got a bunch of stars poking out on them?
Actually, that helps me quite a bit, because once the stars are halved, that's when you know when to click it.
Oh, okay. So just a bigger, like, notification. Like, kind of like a thicker approach circle.
Yeah.
Interesting. Lollyflan, would you be able to tolerate thick approach circles?
Actually, I like thick approach circles.
Alright.
Boom.
What if you're playing on easy mod?
Never.
Okay, just no to easy mod, period.
No, never.
Yeah, alright. That's a fair thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest any of my skins on easy mod.
It's like, have you done everything yourself? Like all the elements? They look pretty awesome.
Well, me and Carl made up most of the stuff, and basically how the work got split up between each other is for the Twilight Sparkle skin, I created the approach circles, he did the hit circles and stuff, but the Applejack skin, almost all the elements that were gameplay were made by me. He did all the vector art for like the rankings and stuff like that. And for the Rainbow Dash one, he did the hit circles on that one. So we kind of took turns on what we did, and I did the vector art for the Rainbow Dash skin. So it kind of swapped. Either one of us was making gameplay elements, and the other person was making scoring, metric, menus, stuff like that. It went back and forth between each other for each skin.
It's like, I think this is like the first time somebody collaborates in making a skin. It's like I've never seen it before.
Well, me and Quizara both don't really have as much free time as we'd like with Photoshop. And we knew the best way to get these skins out in a somewhat fast manner would be to work together. And seeing as he taught me how to use Photoshop, my style's pretty reminiscent of what he does. So we could work together and it still look like it still look consistent enough to be considered an entire skin set.
All right.
Also, because I get PMs on this on a regular basis, so I might as well go ahead and let it...
Here we go.
The Fluttershy skin will not be finished because my computer crashed when the skin was about 95% done, and we do not have any backups because the backup that Quizara had was on his laptop, which also unfortunately crashed.
How the hell?
Wow.
Yeah.
Double whammy?
A double whammy.
Double whammy.
And the part that makes me mad is his crashed, like, the 2 weeks prior to me trying to get the skin. Like, he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll upload it, and we still got it. Don't worry, no biggie.
Well,
and then boom.
I guess an advantage of this is now you have a good start for a creepypasta.
Yeah, I suppose. The skin that was to never be.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so, we've talked a ton about OS in general, and I guess a lot of people wanted to know, do you do anything else other than OS, like any hobbies, like drawing, voice acting potentially?
Okay.
Not drawing, skip drawing.
Okay.
We already talked about that another episode ago.
But let me go ahead and talk a little bit about the voice acting stuff, because I did try. I have tried a few times actually. It was actually a friend that you introduced me to, Charles.
Yeah.
And I did some vocal work for him, and unfortunately his project never got off the ground because he got busy with other stuff. All the files are still there, but I definitely
Aberration actually had its part 1 released. The
yeah,
thing that
it did get the part 1 released, but we didn't.
None of the actual voice acting.
We didn't get any of the story element stuff done. It was basically just a quiet Half-Life mod at that point.
Alright.
He didn't get to put in any of the story elements. Like, the teaser trailer definitely had me in it. Some of the grunts were used for, like, jumping and stuff like that. But aside from all the story, text-based stuff that was going to happen, none of that stuff got released. Because it's just... At that time, I didn't really have the equipment anyways. I'd love for him to recontact me again, because I'd be able to definitely knock it out of the water now. But,
all right.
Yeah, in terms of that, and to touch base on the best type of way of drawing, I did create Yuzu here recently, which a lot of people probably already know, either love or hate. But that is our Catch the Beat mascot. Me and Daru worked together on that, and the initial concept and design was by yours truly.
I do believe we touched base on you throwing away concept art.
Yeah, I do throw away concept art.
Don't do that. Never do that.
I know, and people yell at me for throwing away concept art, but when I see something and I don't like it and I'm not happy with it, I either delete it or I throw it away.
Tim Schafer would be crying right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, alright, that got a little sad, so let's do something more interesting. You played OS a lot. Are there any other games that you fancy?
There's quite a few. I'm more than welcome to get sucked into an MMORPG anytime I can. I mean, I've played Terra, I've played Final Fantasy, I've played Phantasy Star Online. I mean, I've played quite a few. Currently, a game that I'm really interested in, that I've been playing quite a bit of right now, is Unturned. I'm pretty sure that that's kind of going around the internet right now anyways. But that game is fun, and I'm not just into the mindlessly killing zombies section. I mean, I've been building structures and stuff. Like, the stuff I dreamed about doing on Minecraft, I'm doing on Unturned, which is kind of neat. So I have been interested in playing some other games. I don't have much time for it, but when I do like me some Unturned.
Interesting. So, I guess, and I do want to ask, because Lollyflant's here too, have you tried games of the Toho series? Because I know that there's been quite a bit of maps and that influence of that series in the game.
Now, I can say that I don't really care for the Toho fan base.
Uh-oh.
Or any of the stuff that goes into it, but as a game, removing community and everything else aside, as a video game, it is enjoyable.
Oh, ouch.
And I don't want that to be taken as to I like Toho, because I do not. I do not like the lore. I do not like anything that goes with it. It is way stretched out. I don't care for stretching it out that much. Like, it's a bullet hell game. Point and simple. It shouldn't have this much depth to it. You know what I mean?
I think maybe just the overall complicated nature of it is what's getting to you.
Yeah, and it's just like, I want to shoot stuff, you know?
I guess,
Everyone likes shooting stuff.
But so I do enjoy the game as what it stands for as a game. But and the music, there's some music I like, but I've heard it so much. Like, you've been here, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that it gets me sick, so I wouldn't want to listen to it anymore.
Yeah,
but I
you can
wouldn't
only
say
hear Bad Apple remixed so many times before you're like,
say,
God.
But I wouldn't say that I don't like it, because I do, it's just I've heard it too much.
Yeah, but you can only hear Bad Apple remixed so many times, or the other songs, like, every other song is, like, some kind of, like, variant of a previous song. And it's... Whew,
I think
man.
that only... Would you say that applies mainly... You know, I'm not gonna cover that, but there is a giant group that is dedicated to the remixes, and I guess that's just not your cup of tea?
Not really.
Okay, alright. Cool. So you covered MMOs, Unturned. Well, actually, Unturned could be considered an MMO. Are there any, like...
League of Legends, too, I mean...
Oh.
Yep.
Mr. Yasuo.
I'm
Drunken Master Yasuo?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Are there any console games that you're fond of?
Well, see, I haven't had a console for a while, but I consider the new handhelds, like the 3DS and the PlayStation Vita, as strong as any console. And I have been recently sucked into the world that is Pokemon Y. And, oh man, dude, I'm trying to create a living Pokedex, and
no.
It is rough. Oh,
aren't there
feels.
Aren't there like 900 now?
I think there's 750 something.
Lawlessland, do you play Pokemon?
Actually, someday I do want to start, but right now I'm just not interested. I see people are everywhere like, Pokemon, Pokemon, Pokemon.
I've also been playing the Ace Attorney series as well. Which I did recently acquire the Ace Attorney 5 on the 3DS. I haven't really got the chance to play it yet, but I am looking forward to it.
Alright.
Objection!
Oh, nice. Good job. You two should go on a court case together. Anyway, so I think we're we do actually have one more question. And you were talking about new shows, starting new things. Have you considered revitalizing the OS Idol?
Of course I have considered revitalizing it. There's a thread for signups right now.
Oh, god damn it.
Well, it's
Go sign up, everybody.
Yeah, it's not a big problem. I'm pretty sure that question was asked by a certain someone. I'm not going to say names, but they're very happy to see the OS Idol getting a resurrection, and I hope that anybody that just likes to sing and likes to be silly, go out there and do it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, if you win, you get a bunch of supporter, and there's still talk of possible getting a little singer tag, but we're not 100% sure yet.
I think there's quite a few MP3s out there of ztrot and other people screaming their heads off at anime openings.
Oh yeah.
Oh, actually, I have a MP3 of ztrot singing something. I forgot what was it.
Probably City Escape or something like that.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. Oh yeah.
Right.
I think it was a Sonic song.
Ah.
Crush 40?
Yeah,
No. It sounded. It began with a whistle.
That's probably My Own Way.
Yes. Yes.
It doesn't matter. Sonic's opening theme from Adventure 2.
Oh
no.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Oh no.
Yeah. Alright, so to avoid Sonic discussion, let's go ahead and start asking user questions now that we've pretty much exhausted our question supply here. I believe we are roughly 40 minutes in now? 30? Feels like it.
Okie dokie.
Anyway, so yeah, let's get some user questions. Do we have anybody who wants to ask a question? If so, we will bring them into the live room.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I bet you can guess who has the first question, as it has been a tradition. Kianko has the very first question for ztrot, so let's move her in. Oh.
Hey.
Hello, Kianko.
Hey.
Sorry, I have more background noise than normal because I have to have the air on, not just the fan.
It's no problem. We're all
you're not the only one.
We're all slowly melting.
Yes, very melting. So, you've been in the community for like 6.5 years, and considering you've been here for so long, and most people who have been around since those times don't exist anymore, what are the things that have kept you in the community and not just been like, I'm done, gonna leave?
Well, when I get involved in something, I like to see it through to the end. This is kind of how I do a lot of stuff, and one of the biggest vices when having a nature like that is watching any kind of television series, especially if they cancel it, because it drives me nuts. I have to see stuff through to the end. I don't like to just drop stuff. If I'm really passionate about it, I want to be there for everything, if possible. You know, so I definitely want to see OS through to... I want to see it in its good times. I want to see it in its bad times. I'm going to be there till it's gone. So, hopefully that kind of answers your question. I just like to stick through with stuff. I mean, it's just kind of the way I am.
Well, you
So
didn't stick through with playing Skullgirls.
No,
Ooh.
because I got beat up, and I wasn't passionate about getting beat up. If I was a masochist and I was passionate about getting beat up, I'd play Skullgirls.
The only fighting games that ztrot's willing to play are ones where he can actually edit the game code.
Shut up!
Yeah, pretty
Anyway.
much.
So, thank you very much for the question, Kianko. Alright, so do we have anybody who's looking for another question? Oh, yo, is this one gonna be like a quiet questions one?
It might be a quiet questions one.
Quiet questions?
I think Corin's umming you.
Corin might have a question.
Or is he just
Alright, you know what? I'm pulling in Corin. Hey, Corin, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah.
Hey, Corin.
on my left ear
you're in
again?
the left ear. Get him out. Alright, so Corin has left ear syndrome. And we're just messing with him anyway. So, alright, so does anybody actually do have a question?
I think Corin might actually have a question. He just needs to switch his stuff back to normal. Oh, you
on
don't?
him.
Well, thanks, Corin. Thanks.
Corin does not have a question. Alright.
Well, this makes me a little bit sad. Nobody's got any questions for me.
Well, I mean, I could ask questions, but we decided at the beginning that I shouldn't ask certain questions unless
Well-
you do actually want to get into that, which probably wouldn't be of a good idea.
Oh, come on. I mean, ephemeral with whatever. I don't
No, I'm
even
gonna
care.
Yeah.
go straight in. I'm gonna go straight in.
No, actually, you know what? You haven't talked much, so let's go. Go for it, Lollifine.
Okay, so which pony's best pony?
Ooh.
Oh, well,
Ooh.
that's obvious. Book Pony is best pony. Twilight
Yeah.
Sparkle.
Of course you'd say Twilight Sparkle.
Tara Strong. Hello? Hello?
I mean, I don't watch the show. I don't care about the show. I don't care about the songs in the show. But I think Tara Strong is an extremely talented individual.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, and we mentioned Toho earlier. It's like, do you know the Toho characters?
I do not. Oh, also, Drum does have a question. I'm going to kind of
Actually, has two, and these are both good.
Okay. I'm going to commandeer the chat for a second. So, he says, what do I think of Charles?
You'll love him.
Oh, man. Me and Charles kind of have this love-hate relationship.
I think it divides itself at mapping.
Yeah, like, I love Charles and everything he does, but the second he starts talking about mapping, I'm like, shut the fuck up, Charles.
You senile fool.
Well, it's just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, his maps play good. I don't see how he does it, but they play good. And that's fine and dandy. But when I see him in practice, I can't help but, pick up my cane and wave it around and go, hey, you're not doing it right. And he just...
I think you had the angriest bubble in history with dragons.
Oh, that was the angriest bubble, because I hated everything about that map, but I wasn't about to let it go. Like, I want to avoid
You didn't
that.
want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm like, God, this bad in every
All right.
conceivable way. Bubble.
All right, so I want to go to another drum question that he asked earlier. Coke or Pepsi?
I love Dr. Pepper.
Oh, ow. Ooh, the plot twist. You have to have your almonds?
Yes.
All right,
Okay,
so we
so-
got another Kianko one.
And
so we're going to
Come on,
bring
Aaron, she's gonna
has
explode.
a question that wants to. Oh my god.
We'll ask that one after Kianko.
All right,
Here
that's
we go.
fine.
Hey, Kianko.
When will you finally cosplay with me?
Whew, I haven't cosplayed in like 4 years, maybe 5.
But you're not fat anymore, so you can do it now and look.
Wow.
And look alright.
Thanks for telling everybody I was fat.
Yep.
But
I am a skinny individual who is extremely attractive.
anyways,
I
I
picture
don't know.
Charles as a very hot man. I hope Charles is a very hot man.
No, he's not.
he's
I'm sorry,
Oh,
but
crying.
there's something about the internet that I gotta break it to you.
but
Guys, they're not.
in terms of cosplaying, I guess it would just depend on if I went to a convention where it was deemed accessible enough and I actually could afford to get the materials to do it. I wouldn't mind doing it again. It's not like I haven't done it before, so.
I'm getting a
Have you-
Pippi cosplay commission, so you should be Yuzu.
Oh wow,
boy.
that's pretty good.
I already got a jacket. I already got an Oast jacket being made that's in the stylization of Yuzu's jacket.
All you need is blue hair and you're good to go.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool. Wow, that could actually work. Holy cow. Wow.
It's no way.
Oh.
It's like someone's gonna take a picture of ztrot with the cosplay on. Is gonna use it as a catcher.
I think
Crap.
you almost killed Ztrot there.
No, he's
Little
still
bit.
alive.
Crap. Can't
Alright.
have a cough fit when I'm the one being interviewed. That'd
Yup.
be bad.
Yup.
You fucked
Alright.
up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kianko.
Yay!
Alright, so I guess we'll ask Drum's question now. When did you become a bat? I'm surprised we never asked this one.
Okay. Can I be as real as possible about this? Because it's so old,
Ephemeral,
it doesn't really even matter.
Ephemeral was as real as possible about this, so you can absolutely be as real as possible
Okay,
about this.
so real story here. I was bugging about being a bat for a while.
Oh, like physically, like yelling at people?
physically yelling. I
Wow.
should be able to do this. I mean, look at my. I had like 7 or 8 ranked maps at this point, and I thought I was the bee's freaking knees. Okay,
Ooh.
and
3.
ultimately, what happened is like nobody in the main immediate staff was like, give this guy a chance. Everybody's like, nope, don't do it. I don't want to do it. Nope. But I was invited on the OS event. And I met a good man named Ivelset.
Oh, wow.
And me and Ivelset and Falcon all became butt buddies. We were like the best of chums. Play games
I don't think
together.
that's a good... I'm going to go ahead and point out, I don't think that's a good phrase to use to describe E3.
I don't
mean-
know. We kind of wrecked.
Yeah, okay,
crap
you know
on
what?
MMOs.
I'm not even... Let's not elaborate on that.
No,
Let's
you have
continue.
to understand. Like, we used to hang out on MMOs and stuff, and we always hung out. And no, not that kind of fucking terminology that I just used. You get the idea of what I'm saying. We were really good friends. We all hung out and shit, and everything was chill. And one day, I actually happened to log on to Ventrilo during one of the meetings that they ran. And believe it or not, they actually ran vocal meetings for a while. And Luigi Han and Peppy were talking about some stuff, and I didn't really know who they were or anything like that. And after they had left, Ivel's like, I guess they didn't realize I was still in the channel. But he's like, we really need to get some new bats and stuff. And I'm like, yo, Ivel, I should totally be a bat. And he's like, aren't you already? And I'm like, no. He's like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and do that. And boom, there you go. Like, apparently it was still deliberated, but I got it. Like, people like, give him a chance. And that's all she wrote.
It worked okay.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, 3 rage quits later, but, you know.
Oh, yeah, and name changes and... Anyway.
No, let's not talk about
Yeah,
name
speaking
changes.
but can we talk about names?
Yes, sure.
Where did you get your name?
Oh God, here we go.
Hey,
Okay.
you said you were okay with the tough
Yeah.
questions.
Oh, I don't mind. So if anybody hasn't already noticed, my name is not supposed to be LOL related to ponies because it's way
Yeah,
older
no.
than before that began.
It's way older than the reboot of the series.
Wait. I have to ask this before I forget. It's like, what would your name be if you were like you registered right now and you're like into ponies? What would it be?
I have no idea.
It's
What
like
was the-
something like Buttershy.
Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, even now, I kind of still use ztrot in everything I register, even though I'm like, I mean,
Well, you still haven't explained where it's from.
yeah, but anyways, so, ztrot was a mechanical bird stylized in Sonic. So it was
Sonic
a fan.
bird.
It was a Sonic fan character that was a bird that was a robot that I drew a couple comics of. I when I was younger, and I named him Ztrot. He had a big old stylized Z on his chest, and he'd fight
Like
against
Zorro.
Sonic. He was. It just kind of stuck, dude. That was back from when I was like 12, like, and it just stuck. I kind of kept it. You know.
So I thought that's always what was always one of the cooler aspects is that a name can definitely originate from a Sonic OC and then stick to mean something else in the future.
Yeah, like it started as a Sonic OC, and then it just kind of became its own thing.
Yep.
And it did originate from my childhood. Yeah, and it kind of just stuck.
I mean, I have the same experience with my username. The 3 numbers after my name are not randomly chosen.
Of course they're not. You're Charles.
What?
445.
Yeah, but what does 445 mean?
Yeah, let's flip the
Exactly.
tables.
No, we're not doing it.
Oh yeah,
But
I think
it's-
we are. What's the 445 mean, Charles?
It's actually the first 3 digits of a phone number I had to call a lot of times in order to get my homework.
Wow. You're joking, right?
I am not kidding.
Oh, that's so pro.
Oh
Isn't
my
it?
god.
That was the first time I used Charles 445 was on RuneScape, which I may or may not have played a couple hours ago. Anyway, so I mean, I bet you can figure out where Lollyflan came from. I'm pretty sure that one speaks for itself.
I'm not sure if anybody
Oh, actually,
else.
no, it doesn't because the lolly at the beginning is unique to your user.
It's like this is a shortened name of my previous. But let's not discuss that now.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
But yeah, you have the right to decline to talk on that. All right.
Alright.
So I think that's the depth that I would want to cover of the Ztrot stuff. I think so.
Alrighty. And nobody else has any questions?
Corin
you're
is
left
yelling
to-
at me, so I'm gonna see what's up.
Oh, he does.
Wait, no,
Corin
this
has
time
one
it's gonna
question.
be on the right ear.
Hold on, yeah. Corin, do you have your audio fixed?
I do now.
Oh, good job. All right,
There
what's
you
up,
go.
Corin?
So my question for you is, Ztrot, when are you going to make me Batman? It worked for you, it can work for me.
When the planets align and the moonlight glistens off my left ass cheek, I will make you a Batman.
I got a
Oh.
question, Corin. Do you,
Yeah.
how often do you map? Do you play the game?
Get
dude,
him out of here.
Great.
On top of all that, all the conditions that Charles just said has to be applied before the planets align and the moon glows off my left butt cheek.
Actually, you don't need to be a mapper in order to. But anyway,
Oh, okay.
all right,
all right.
very good
Thank you
question,
for your
Corin.
All right, so I think we should. I think we're reaching a good time for this. I think we've gone for like a little under an hour or almost exactly one.
All right, well, see you later then.
Oh, hey, we're wrapping up officially. So I
Yep.
want to say, everybody, thank you for stopping by. I do believe that Ztrot has a phrase that he'd like to tell you.
Yep. Even though this is my interview, Rhythm's only a click away, and we'll see you real soon.
See you, everybody. Yeah, Lollyflan is super excited. Yeah,
No.
we.
It's like, woohoo.
All right.
No, actually, I'm not excited. I'm just like tired.
Yeah, I think everybody is dying from the heat. All right, see you later, everybody.